You watch your knees there? Yeah, so mine's been that, like, so our chief flight instructor is our only guy who can teach instrument. And come summer, he's buried under paperwork.
Really? Doing what? Just...
Well, because he owns the company as well, so all the paperwork and everything that has to get done. So, and with the flying that he does do for other people, and I don't know how many times I've booked stuff, and then he goes, so this guy wants to go flying. Can we move our flight? It's like, yep. Go ahead, move our flight.
So how do you... So it's been 2 years, and I don't know how... I'm assuming the regs are very similar in here, so it's like, for us it's 40 hours, and it's like pretty much 10 with the instructor, blah, 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 and then, you know, just showing you're proficient with, like, the maneuvers and stuff. But
yeah.
Do you have, like, a simulator at home? Because I bought, like, a computer just to be a simulator, just to do that kind of stuff at home, just to be, like...
I don't have one at home. I've got the one that's here that I can fly whenever I want. But this summer I was based out of Tobermory for all midweek. So, and there's no simulator there, which means I couldn't do any of that practice. The other thing is that we need to have our written done before we do our practical.
Yeah, same here.
Okay. So, I'm probably pretty close to being able to do the practical, but I am nowhere close to being able to do the written.
So do you guys have, like, in America it's like GLIME is the big, like, it's one of the big ones where you can, like, buy, like, a lot of test questions and, like, go through it and stuff. Is there something similar here?
Yeah, there's something similar. Door and window locked there?
Yep.
Seatbelt locked? Yep. Seat secure?
Yep.
Okay, good. Yeah, so we've got, they've come out with an app. So on our things, we've got an app that lets you study all the questions.
Right.
And then there's multiple study books. There's also several courses that are, like, specially done for teaching to take the course, so.
Owen Sound, Unicom, Golf Charlie Tango Juliet. Can I get a radio check and airport advisory, please?
Tango Juliet, this is Owen Sound, Unicom, guide you 5/5. Winds are southwest 230 at 4 knots. Altimeter is reading 2986.
Thanks, Golf Charlie Tango Juliet. Owen Sound traffic, Golf Charlie Tango Juliet's backtracking 18 for departure.
Yeah, so this summer I've been trying to, study, but then come winter we'll be able to start flying again. And for us in this area, fall and spring are your best times because the temperatures are still warm enough that if we get a gray day, you can do actual IMC. But once you get into winter, you can't do it because of the freezing levels.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, in Ohio, we're pretty much fighting the same thing. Like, you get to a certain point, and, like, freezing levels are too low that you're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun stuff. Like, I don't know. Have you ever done, like, a really long, fun cross countries anywhere?
I did PEI and back in a 150.
I've never flown anything smaller than a 172.
Cut the whole size of the cabin down, take out your back seat, and smaller baggage compartment than what's in there. And I did it with my brother, too, so.
Oh, really? Fun.
Yeah. At the time, we were both 150, like, in weight, so we had enough room for, like, 75 pounds of baggage with full tanks.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah, my longest cross country is when I flew. So I used to live in Minnesota, and I flew from Minnesota to Tobermory.
Yeah.
Cleared customs in Manitoulin. That was pretty fun. It was the first time flying over water, and I was like, beat my pants a little bit when you first go over water, because you're just like, it's water down there, that's not land.
Yeah.
But then after, like, now I've flown over water multiple times, it's just like, that's just water.
Yeah. Now, when we do the jump in between like Manitoulin and Tobermory, going back and forth, we do runs up there for fish and chips, up to Killarney. We don't tend to throw life jackets in the back. We do the whole, you have to get high enough so that you get your glide slope. But like when I did the trip to PEI, there were 2 life jackets in the back, and
that's what I actually like when I first planned the trip. I actually bought like a little mini boat, and I was like, I don't know why the hell I bought the boat, because it's like, what am I going to do, like blow that thing up while I'm floating in the water? But I just like, well,
the plastic sort of floats sometimes.
Yeah, I was like, Lake Huron's kind of freaking cold, so...
Yeah.
Owen Sound traffic, Golf Charlie Tango Juliet, departing 18. We're climbing to 2,000 feet and heading out towards the Sauble Beach area. Golf Charlie Tango Juliet.
Already? Here we go.
Right about here when I hear the words, okay, put on your hood.
Yeah. Visor down. I'm going to go sunglasses on.
I didn't bring any because I was like, it's not going to be sunny. Oops.
I'm sorry, I only have 1 pair.
Well, that's fine. Don't worry about it.
No, and the little visor isn't in there, so sorry, you can't, even give you that. This year Dave picked up one of those ones that are like the tunnel vision.
I actually I made my own because they had the big, they had like the dog cone of shame ones, and they just are, the elastics on them is really crappy and worn out, so
yeah.
I just went to like Home Depot and bought like a pair of like safety glasses and did the duct tape thing on them, and they work just as great.
Yeah, we have ones that flip up and flip down.
I really like those. There was one of those that I used once, and then they disappeared from the flight club, and I was like, damn it.
Yeah, no, I really like them. Because you can put them on before, and then it's just a matter of going, whoop.
Yep.
So there's that layer of hue sitting.
So I'm assuming you've done this a couple times, so what are the coolest things that you've seen? I mean, because on this route, because when I flew in from the north, so I didn't go this far south. I just pretty much went to where the lake is and then looped back up, so...
Yeah. So we've got a number of, like, waterfalls in the Owen Sound area.
Oh, really?
That are cool. Then there's always this guy's field right down here. So he always does a corn maze, and it's different every single year.
Oh, really?
This year, Canada 150.
That's cool. I gotta take a picture of that.
Yeah.
Where I'm based out in Ohio, it's Columbus, so it's the Ohio State Buckeyes, and there's a guy who actually did Brutus the Buckeye in his field last year when I was flying. I took my dad up, I was like, what the hell's that? Oh, it's Brutus the Buckeye, that's so cool.
Yeah. And then you've got the Owen Sound Salmon Spectacular on right now, so there's a ton of boats out in the harbor. A couple of years ago, the Ministry of Natural Resources came and they did surveys the week of the Salmon Spectacular and the week after to see sort of like how many extra people were on the water fishing. But for me, it's mostly like the coastline and like flying over the water. And you get to see all of the neat shores and the shoals and everything because the water's so clear. is City of Owen Sound. As we come up and through it, it's between two hills. If you came through the City of Owen Sound, you would just, you go down the one hill and then up the other, so you can see that when we go through here.
It reminded me quite a bit of like Wyerton. Wyerton's the same kind of way. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I've been coming up to this area for a good better part of my life.
Yeah.
And I've never been to Owen Sound because I come in from the west and then hit 6 and hit 21, or hit 21 to 6 and go straight north.
Yeah. Yeah, so the one, Jones's Fall, is just over on this side, so if you follow the valley up, it's going to be on this side here. River, right to the middle of town. Yeah, so there, and then there's
oh yeah,
Eagles Falls. Yeah, that one's Ingalls. Jones is over there. In some respects, there's too many waterfalls. Get them all mixed up. So we'll go down below this layer of cloud. Whee! It doesn't matter what the forecast actually says. The weather is completely different.
Yep.
Remember, it was like sunny and clear once in Wyerton, and it's like, oh, okay, and we set off on a cross country, and I made it to Lion's Head, and then it was like a wall of clouds, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're turning around here.
Fun little loop-de-loop.
Yep.
Yes, I sympathize. I really enjoyed flying in the winter because it was super crisp. The sky was clear and you could really see forever.
Yeah.
When I lived in Minnesota, I felt like
just down there is Jones's Fall. I mean, it's just along the cliff there.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I drove by it. I didn't even see it.
Yeah. You can see it when you go back out of town, because the road comes this way and it's orientated to see it that way.
Right. Yep.
But it's a little bit harder to see when you're going into town. Yeah, no, I like winter flying. Good to see forever.
Yeah. And when it's usually a crisp, clear day, it's crisp and clear forever.
Yeah. And then you do that at night, and you can see absolutely everywhere. So from here, at night, winter flying, you can make out Toronto.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's Highway 6.
Okay.
Running there.
Was your commercial tough?
What?
Was your commercial, getting your commercial tough?
It was because the Ontario government decided to throw me a monkey wrench. So shortly after I started my commercial, they decided to implement the Private Career Colleges Act. Yeah. So they'd heard about all the schools down in the States who would take all the people's money and then ship out. And, not give people licenses. This is a Shoal Ice Quarry in here. one of many along the peninsula. So anyway, so they decided that if you wanted to teach commercial, you had to be part of this Private Career Colleges Act. So you had to register as a private career college. Well, the problem with that was, for our school, it involves a audit. Which, the first one was okay, and the second one was going to cost them $10,000. Which, for the 1 to 3 students that they do over the course of a year, really isn't worth it. So they pulled the Private Career Colleges Act right as I was about to finish my license, and so I had to scramble to try and find a plane. Because the crazy part is the instructors can still teach it, but they just can't teach it through a school. So yeah, they got special dispensation. I was allowed to finish my license through the school, but nice. Yeah, that was fun. Like getting ready for your test and then have this all of a sudden thrown at you.
Yeah.
This is Shallow Lake. The Shallow Lake's there, and the actual Shallow Lake is the stuff that's out on this side.
Okay.
Okay. So when you drive through and go through Shallow Lake here, what you see on this side is it used to be a quarry for the clay in that. So it's a very shallow lake. And actually there's somebody out there fishing. Normally there's people out there kayaking.
Oh, yeah.
And in the spring and fall, or mostly the spring when it sort of starts drying up, you get people back there mudding.
What's mudding?
So they have trucks that they've sort of souped up with mud tires and go drive around in circles. Yeah.
Do you plan to go airline?
I don't know. We'll see where we go and what we get into. Traffic in the Wyerton area, Cessna 172, Golf Charlie Tango Juliet. It's just approaching the town of Hepworth. We're 1,600 feet and heading towards Sauble Beach, and we'll be following the shoreline north to Tobermory. Golf Charlie Tango Juliet. For me, it sort of depends on what options come available in the area here. So are you commercial as well? Are you going that route?
I've got a pretty good job otherwise that pays me a lot of money versus what I would make as an airline pilot.
Yep.
At least, starting out, like, they don't make a lot, at least in the States. So I'm sure it's
no, they don't make much, yeah.
And, it's like...
It's a general misconception.
20 grand US, and that's like... Well, I know it's getting better because of the shortage. So I'd like to get commercial and after instrument, get my commercial, and then become like a CFI, CFII, and kind of do that as like, I call like a retirement gig, like...
Yeah. Yep.
It might be fun to do like charter pilot, because there's in Columbus, where I'm based out of, there's NetJets. Yeah. And I know one of our instructors works for NetJets, and one of my personal instructors, he flies corporate. He flew airline, and I'm curious why he didn't continue with airline, but I haven't asked him why. But
yeah, like one of the guys who used to teach for us, he used to fly airline, and he couldn't stand it. And his wife told him when the flight school was doing really well, and then it started not doing really well, and they went, well, we can either keep at it or we can, shut up and, pack up our bags and quit. And his wife looked at him and said, you can't go back to the airlines. You were miserable there, so no, you can't. This is the Sugging River. Runs towards Sauble. That little right in there.
There's little falls by that. There's a nice gray house back there that's got nice little falls by it.
Little Cascadey Falls.
Yep.
Yeah, it takes a very specific kind of pilot to be able to fly for an airline, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's something I'd want to do.
Oh, so this is the Sauble Raceway.
Yep, this is Sauble Speedway.
Speedway.
There's a couple of trailers still there from last night's races. I think it was some sort of a championship.
Did you go to the race?
No, I didn't go to the race, but one of the guys that we know, he was telling us that that's what was supposed to be going on out there. So he races, so but his division wasn't racing. There's Sauble Beach up ahead. And just back there is actually one of the fields that we always used for forced approach practices. It's actually a runway. We don't have permission to go into it, but it works great for setting up for
simulated.
Yep. Yeah, so then when we come down the coast here, so yeah, you can see. Unfortunately, the locals don't let you see too far up, but you can just make out Oliphant over there, and down the shoreline you can see Chantry Island out by Port Elgin. So this is Sauble Beach, the second longest freshwater beach in the world. Runs all the way from there down the shoreline all the way out here, and you can see all the sandbars.
Yeah. I realize it's not warm, but I'm actually surprised it's not a little bit busier.
Yeah. Well, it still is only 10:30 in the morning. So it could be a matter of people just aren't awake yet. We're not going to get to see across the peninsula. This is the fun part about flying here. It's like clouds there, open blue skies.
Yep.
I've been enjoying that about Tobermory because it's got the water all around it, so pretty much every day we can get up at some point.
Yeah.
It just depends. So there's that river. If you follow it back to where the road crosses, you'll just see Sauble Falls.
I've never been to Sauble Falls. I've never been to Sauble Beach. I've been to the grotto a million times, but I've never been down here.
Yeah, I've never been to, I've been to Sauble Beach multiple times, never been to the grotto.
Okay, I don't feel so bad.
But if you actually want to go swimming, go to Oliphant.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least, yeah, because Georgian Bay, holy Moses, that place is cold.
Yeah.
This is much warmer.
Yeah, it's much warmer, and it's also less populated. Like, yeah, Sauble Beach can become crazy crowded.
So we're farther north. There's like a place called Old Woman's River. We've gone through Old Woman's River, and I feel like it's similar.
So out here, somewhere on the end here, used to be a school bus. I don't know if it's still there, but yeah, like all the way out here at the end of this.
Like in the water or just
no, on the land.
Okay. Looking for traffic.
Yeah. like hard to believe that somebody would have moved it, but
Cooktown,
I haven't seen it in a little while. Yeah, neat to see the shoreline all in here.
Wired
And
traffic, Cessna 172, Fox Oscar Echo is currently over town of Terra at 1,700 feet, westbound, and over to Port Elgin. Wired traffic.
So in the last 3 years, the water level, like that peninsula that comes out, the water level used to be like out there. It's come in that much, and then like these islands out here, you could walk to.
Yeah, I know the water's up a lot this year compared to years past.
Yeah.
Just like the lake that we have the lodge on, it's.
Cooktown traffic's got
I've seen the water levels go up and down.
5 over
Yeah.
flight Cooktown.
Yeah, so about 5 years ago, you could walk out to this island here without getting your feet wet.
Nice little house on this island right here.
Yep. Lots of houses out on these islands. That little channel there is called the Gut.
Oh, really?
Allows you to get out from the marina out to the fishing islands, which are what are on this side. So these little islands all up in here.
Okay.
Yeah, which are sort of neat. They've got lots of little like houses and shorelines, and everything's just below the surface.
Alpha jumpers away over the field, 4,200 feet and below, do not overfly.
Whoa, this person has a tennis court.
Yep.
What the hell? I think I barely got that.
Well, and then there's the guy on this side, which has a house that sort of looks like a little mini, like, Italian villa. Don't know if you can see it down there.
Oh yeah, holy look, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Right face, straight.
So the first, I guess I can bank a little bit more with you, you're not going to mind. It's like normally, yeah, 5-10 degrees of bank, and that's all I can do. So just off this island is the first shipwreck that you're going to be able to see.
Cool.
It's sort of difficult to see. You'll see some black lines in the shoreline just off the island. The one that's going the wrong way is the shipwreck.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just off the end of the pier. Yes, you see those black lines out there? There's one that goes the wrong way, and that's right in there, right off. It's not a really clear one, but yeah.
I don't think I saw it, but that's okay.
That's okay. I flew there for 10 years, and I only saw it this year, so.
I know the ones up in Little Tub and Big Tub, or yeah, Little Tub Harbor you can see really easily.
Yeah. Like I said, if you want to go different directions, just point me and I'll.
I'm just enjoying not having to fly and just be like, oh,
Yeah.
let's do this.
Just enjoying looking around, yeah. We've done some stuff this year and last year, loading all the instructors into the plane, and sitting in the back seat, which has been both fun and not fun.
I haven't sat in the back seat for a billion years, to be honest. Like when I started flying, there was another guy at work, and we were like, let's do this flying thing. And so we found an instructor who didn't mind having the second person as a passenger while the other person flew.
Yeah.
And so that was the last time I was in the back, and my friend, he he got airsick, so he stopped flying, whereas I continued on.
Yeah.
But that was the last time I've been in the back. And to be honest, for some reason, I kind of am scared. I don't know why.
The back seat is sort of scary. Like, yeah. So there's Lion's Head, just on the other side of the peninsula there, and that's Ferndale, that flat area. There you can see the couple of windmills. Traffic in the Wyerton area, Cessna 172 Golf Charlie Tango Juliet's on the north end of Oliphant. We're 1,900 feet following the shoreline to Tomori.
Got them all memorized.
Yeah.
At this point.
And I've been looking at it like this entire plane. I'm going, it's not right. It's not right. Why is it not right? Because it's 122.8, not 1280. My students the other day, he's like, so, and he's a fairly new student. He's going, so how do you know what to set the things on? I'm like, oh, it's right here on your map. We haven't gotten to that yet, but yeah, no, sitting in the back is like the closest I've come to being like airsick in the airplanes since my first flight. This is Pike Bay.
The water looks really inviting, I'll be honest. Like, just the colors and everything. You're like, oh, looks like we should go jump in. It's a nice day out.
This area, probably it is, because it's really shallow, so it's actually pretty warm water.
Yeah.
Like, Oliphant is close to bathwater, almost. It's like, or that's what Dave told me the other day. I haven't actually made it out to Oliphant this year.
So for your commercial, did you have to do stuff in a complex or high performance?
No, we didn't have to do.
Okay.
So ours is restricted still to single engine non-high performance.
Your license or your commercial license, or just
like
in general?
The commercial license is still restricted to single engine non-high performance. So that's a separate rating.
Yeah, because for us, you have to do it. There's certain maneuvers you have to do in a complex. So apparently people just take the Bonanza and do that part of the test in the Bonanza.
Oh, just that small portion.
Yeah. Which is nice because now, so in America, what they call them like DPs, designated pilot examiners. I don't know if you have them here.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
They've got a different name, but same principle.
Yeah, so the DP, we have now 2 DPEs in the club, so we used to have to travel like, I don't know, 100 miles away to go to the nearest DPE, and
yeah.
So now you can take the 172 up, do most of the maneuvers, and then do the 1 lap. I think it's like 1 lap in the pattern in the Bonanza, so you're not like throwing your money out the window even more.
Yeah. Not too bad then. Yeah, we've got dedicated examiners, and some of them will travel to you, and some of them you have to travel to them. So it depends on who you get. This is Stokes Bay and Lyle Island. In.
So right off our wing entering that bay, that's Lion's Head, correct?
Yeah. And then that curve there, that's Dyer's Bay.
Okay.
And so you can just make out Miller's Lake is
Okay.
that one there.
The bigger one that's farther.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. So are you a long-time resident of Owen Sound?
I'm actually Wyerton.
Okay.
I'm a resident of Wyerton. I grew up in the Hamilton area, but my mom and her family is all from the Bruce Peninsula here, so.
Okay.
Moved up here, yes, it's almost 11 years now.
Is that a lighthouse on that?
Yep. It's one of the older ones in the area, and they recently took it away and they've put a replica in.
Oh.
Yeah. But originally, like, up until that point, it was the longest original lighthouse. See the channels through the islands there.
I think you were going to say something before I asked about Lion's Head. But, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Talking about examiners, so probably it was something about examiners. And
Gotcha.
yeah. The ones who come to you are nicer, because then you get to fly in your own area.
Which sometimes is like cheating, though.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
How much did the examiners cost?
The guy we're using right now, he's $400 for the exam and $150 for travel.
That's not too bad. I think, I haven't even quoted, but I think it's like $350, so.
Yeah. That's for the private pilot, so it's usually about 3 hours of time, so.
Yeah.
Which is, still works out cheaper than, you know, flying the plane with the instructor down to, because the closest one is Stratford.
Okay.
So we have to go down to Stratford if we fly to an examiner. Getting to pine trees. There's some neat shoals and stuff just off the coast and everything. Which is what I quite like. We've had people who've like flown in the Caribbean and then come up here and they're like, it's hard to tell which one's actually prettier flying.
Really? I mean, I can see that, because like, again, on this side, you really see like, because it's like the tectonic plate or whatever, it's shifted, so like, you know, like the far side, you see the escarpment and stuff, and on this side, it just kind of like shallowly goes into the water.
Yeah. So distinctly different, and I mean, it's only that far away.
Right, right.
You know, not even talking, but not even 10 miles, 9 miles from here to there.
So do you guys have, for the FAA is mandating in the States, you have to have ADS-B for 2020, any airplane in like, blah, blah, I forget the airspace. But anytime you need a mode C transponder, you have to have this ADSP. Are you guys getting that too?
I think so. I think that's coming in as well, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. Sort of.
It's kind of, yes, I spit everywhere. It's kind of aggravating because you get traffic alerts, and I mean, if you're out here, it's probably a little less annoying, but like I've flown in places where I'm like, there is a lot of traffic on the screen, and I start focusing on it way too much instead of just flying the plane.
Yeah.
Because it's honestly like there's just a whole bunch of like planes.
Yeah.
It'll warn you too, like, you know, if there's a plane within 100 feet, it'll flash at you, but still.
Yeah, no, up here, you know, you're lucky if there's a dozen planes in the air. And you'll hear them all. They'll all be talking. I'm surprised we're not hearing a lot more. Because, like, this 122.8 is from, like, Kincardine, Stratford, Hanover, all the way up the peninsula to Manitoulin, Killarney, and then even we get some of the guys in the States too.
Yeah, actually, I flew from Columbus to Lake Erie.
Yeah.
And I had people from Detroit, like Pittsburgh area, and Columbus, like all on like the one, the CTAF I was on. I was like, gee, Merry Christmas, shut up.
I want to just make one position report.
Exactly, and that's exactly what it was.
Traffic in the Tobermory area, Cessna 172, Golf Charlie Tango Juliet, just past Stokes Bay. We're 2,000 feet following the shoreline north. We're going to be coming around the peninsula and then following it back south, Golf Charlie Tango Juliet.
So were you always interested in flying, or just like...
Flying, you know, as in like jumping off, you know, and trying to flap your wings, yes. When it became this is something I want to do for a career, was sort of something a little bit later. I mean, I grew up under the approach path to Hamilton, which has the warplanes, so yeah, always wanted to be up there, but never thought of it as like actually a career option.
How many times have you, like, scheduled stuff, or, like, people have, like, I want to do an air tour, and then they get and they see the plane, and they're just like...
I have never had anybody get to the plane and say no. I have had people get to the airport and say, no, I really don't want to go. So, yeah, I have had people, like, really super nervous, but even flying in this airplane, which you have to admit isn't the nicest looking airplane.
I mean, so, I don't know what it is, but the Cessnas I've flown, they've always been 172, 1976 M's or N's. Yeah. Like, it's like the 76 to 78 era is like, I don't know, it's just like, I don't know if they made a whole bunch of them, but, like, that's what I've always flown.
Yeah, so these are the M's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I saw that on the website, the three of them that you guys have, they're all M's. I was like, what is it with that, like, era of plane?
I don't know what it is. Like, the cost of running them is pretty cheap. The N's are a little bit more expensive, but they have a little bit more powerful engine.
Okay. Is this like 150 and that's 160?
Something like that. And for us, the reason is, even that 1 year difference, our ops manual, we'd have to completely rewrite, and for the maintenance, we have to completely rewrite for the new aircraft. So by keeping all of our airplanes exactly the same, the students all have exactly the same airplanes to fly. And we've got no more paperwork.
Yeah.
And so there's a fishing boat just out there if you want to see it, or one of the native fishing boats. Actually, two of them out there.
Yeah, I saw the other one. I wasn't sure if it was a pleasure boat or what.
He's a fishing boat. He's out there regularly enough.
So as a student, how much does this plane rent for?
155.
Dry or wet?
Wet.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
That's actually, I think, it was, do you have like GST and all that stuff included or after?
After, so then you add 13%.
Okay. So our 172's 129 wet plus tax, so, and you know.
And then you convert
right,
American to Canadian.
But even then, avgas is all probably, you know.
You guys get in gallons.
Like, right, but it's like, so I looked and like at Tobermory, it was $1.99 a liter.
Yeah.
And it comes out to about $6.30 a gallon. And I think avgas in the States, you can probably find it for like $4.
Yeah.
So like, if you're doing, what do you say, 150?
155.
155 with maybe like the price differential for the 100 low lead up here, I feel like it's a really good deal. Like,
yeah.
I feel like I should stop talking shop and start looking more.
Nothing wrong with talking shop. Yeah, so across there you can see, so we got Bear's Rump, Flower Pot, and Middle Island is the little guy there.
Okay.
Who doesn't look like he's in the middle right now, but... And then this is Singing Sands, this bay here.
Okay. Look over there, fun camera, look over there.
See what we're actually talking about. But I mean, even out here, you can still look down and you can see like the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So although we do have some nice planes, the Bonanza is 202.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a Piper 6 as well. That's new. We recently just got like three different planes that people like decided to do leasebacks.
Yeah.
The SR-22s are like $3.45 an hour.
Well.
The rates just went up.
I wouldn't be surprised if our rates have to go up in the next little bit with if the gas prices stay up. I know Tobermory just put their gas prices up 11 cents. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago. And like they're already higher than Owen Sound, which is why like everything here is more expensive.
Yeah, so I don't know if I talked to you yesterday, but like I drove up here to the airport because this is where I flew into, and I was like, oh, and then I saw the price. I was like, $600 for the trip, or I could go down there and $380, and I was like, I'll drive for the price differential. Like,
yeah,
I understand how it works, but
yeah, and like up here, because it's a charter, so we have to pay 2 guys to be up here for any flight.
Gotcha.
So that's where a lot of that price difference is coming in. That and it's higher fuel cost and yeah, we got out of the national park area, and then you start getting homes back on the water and big fancy ones. In the base here, you have all the lines running.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the shortest strip you've ever landed on?
The shortest strip I've ever landed on, I'd have to say that's probably Southampton at, let's see what Southampton got there. I know it's a short strip, 1,670 feet, and not all of that's usable. And there's like a 50-foot tree at the end of it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's like really narrow. They say it's 37 feet wide, but There's trees on either side. The farmer who runs the fields around it uses it as his tractor route back and forth. So you got like mud globs all over it too, and yeah.
Fun stuff.
So I'm pretty sure that's the shortest. I think the grass strips that we land at are actually longer.
There's the airport.
Yep.
Over there.
Yeah, it's the disappearing airport. Because the trees are so close, it almost unless you're right on top of it, you can't see it.
Yeah, luckily when I flew, it was like George's VFR all the way out here.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a big. I've always wanted to come up in the winter, and actually was talking to some guys, some of the other members in this club that owns the lodge.
Yeah.
And they said they got to the gate because it's just like a dirt track to into the property.
Yeah.
It's like got into the gate, and that's as far as we got, because then we got stuck.
Yeah.
It's like 5 feet of snow. It's like, wow.
So somewhere in this bay is the China.
Oh, okay.
Again, it's one that I haven't actually ever seen. I know it's here. I know you can see it, but it's not a very, very clear one. Yeah, no, depending on when you come up, it's quite snowy. You might have to find somewhere else to stay. Oh, the Chichimon's in.
Oh, yeah,
right at the harbor there. Looks like it just got in from the wake in behind it.
Yeah, definitely.
One of the glass bottom boats coming in.
Have you ever been to Flower Pot Island?
I have been out to Flower Pot Island, turned around and we come back. It was one of the last trips out on the boat. The guy who drives the big boats is one of my students, so I hitched a ride. So no, I didn't get to step off and actually go see Flower Pot Island, but we went out.
Yeah, I haven't been in years, but
yeah, so there's sweepstakes and so if you want to go here, Bruce Anchor Tours.
I just drove through yesterday and I saw like that house straight at the end at 6.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that's where the tours launched from, because I've always just gone into the harbor.
Yeah. Yep, nope, they launch right from the end there. They're one of the new tour boat companies. There's some kayakers getting up close and friendly with the Chichimon.
Yeah, I saw that.
Everybody's favorite thing to do, except for everybody on the Chichimon.
Oh, is there a fire tower or a lookout?
Yep. There's a lookout point there, just off from the visitors' information.
I did not. I
Yeah.
have to go see that now.
Yeah. I don't know what the admission fee is, but it's not too bad, I know. You can go up and you can see out everywhere.
Is it cheaper than plane flight?
Yes, it's cheaper than a plane flight. So this is Mermaid's Point here. And then you've got two little coves here. Big Cove and Little Cove, but it's not Cove. It's something else. And then you've got the flower pots that you can see just on the edge of the water there. For the longest time, this was the closest I ever got to them. And usually, well, everybody's looking at Flower Pot. I'm looking at Bear's Rum, which is that one over there. Because it's like the Peninsula Mini, right? It's got the shallow end on the one side and cliffs on the other.
Yep.
And I think it's sort of cool. And then you can go out there and you can wander around it. There's no docks or there's no fires allowed on it. You're no camping.
Oh.
So it's on my list of places to go see at some point in my life. And yeah, we get in here, we get into the nice cliffs. We'll drop down a little bit lower here. Get some good looks at the cliffs. Tobermory traffic at Golf Charlie Tango Juliet is just coming up on the grotto. We're 2,000 feet following the shoreline south. Golf Charlie Tango Juliet.
This is Tobermory Unicom.
Hey Steve, how are you today?
Fine.
That's good. I was wondering if he was going to reply to me or not. He almost always replies, but it's always just Tobermory Unicom. It doesn't matter if you were talking to him or not. This is the grotto coming up.
Yep.
Yeah, just the next set there. Next inlet. Actually not swamped with people at the moment.
Yeah, it's early and cold.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know, I was out here and it was like rainy and miserable and there was a ton of people on it. And that was Wednesday. So...
Oh, really?
Yeah, Cypress Lake. Going there and then...
How are you, Comcana?
Yes, there's the grotto. Down there.
A couple people out there on the shale bed.
Is,
Yeah.
on the trees, but out along the coast it's 1,300 and then over Georgia Bay.
Just enjoying the sunshine.
Yep. There's one kayak in there, it looks like. There's a red sliver.
Yeah. And then you got like caves coming all along. And the shore, like the rock beds coming out into the water. This area here is all part of the national park, right? National Park and native hunting grounds.
Really?
Yep. Cliffs are cool with the overhangs and the rocks that have fallen off of them.
Yeah.
They probably like this section here is probably some of my favorite. That and then once you get down to Lion's Head, because you get into the really white cliffs.
We'll go by Devil's Monument too. Although I don't know if I could pick it out.
I can show you what I think is Devil's Monument, but that's the flower pot that's inside the peninsula, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Grayson Harbor traffic, Bush Hawk Kilo River Sierra is at 1,300 feet, just coming up over Hole in the Wall. We're westbound from Kilbear Point next.
And you got all these lakes up that are above the lake level.
Yeah. I've always wanted to, so like, there's the road out to Cabot Head Lighthouse,
Yeah.
and there's not a waterfall, but like a stream coming from one of these, like, upper lakes. I've always wanted to
Gillies.
hike up to the top. I don't know if it's, well, yeah, probably, yeah, because Gillies is right over here, I want to say.
Gillies is that one right there, that bigger one?
I've always wanted to just like hike up there because like I think it's all private property, and even like so I went and drove the road yesterday, and at the waterfall it said no hiking, trespassing. I was like, damn it, too many people have already done it.
Yeah. Well, if it is Gillies Lake, right, it's right on the edge of the national park here, so I think there is a road into like this side of Gillies Lake. that picture. That picture will be nicer.
Well, that and there's like the glare from the sun. Otherwise, I'm just gonna have a whole bunch of glared out video.
Yeah. I got to do a flight in Scotland 2 years ago now.
Really?
And it was the first time I played with a GoPro. Unfortunately, most of mine is, again, that white. But that was partially because we were flying through the clouds. We were supposed to go over, they've got one of 2 beach airports. An airport that's actually on the beach.
Cool.
So we were supposed to go over to one of them. The problem was the clouds were at 2,000 feet and the mountains were at 3. So, and there was no IFR approach into that airport. And no way for us to get down past the clouds once we were over the mountains. So we changed our mind and went somewhere else. But then we did some flying in clouds, and it was a lot of fun, but I didn't get to see a lot.
So was it like just a trip and you was like called up an FBO and were like, hey, I want to take a flight lesson, or was it like something else planned?
I was over there with the Mass Band of Canada, the pipes and drums.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And so that we had a number of days off, and so yeah, I literally phoned up a guy, and they actually had on their thing these special courses. They had special training courses. They did mountain flying. They did beach landings. They had these special training courses. So I'm like, I want to take this course. It's a 1-day course. I'm taking this course.
Yeah. So one of my instructors, I was talking to him about float plane, and he's like, there's a guy from Michigan, he'll do it. It's like 1,500 or something. Most fun you'll ever have on wings. Like,
yeah.
You land in the water, it's like on a little Piper Cub, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
So I think I'd like to do that. Like,
yeah, it's on my list of things to do. Here we go up to, up by Manitoulin, out that way. There's a float school up there that's pretty good. Or there's a guy in Wyerton who has a plane and promised to teach me float flying. That was, again, 2 years ago, and we still haven't managed to get his flying schedule and my flying schedule to, overlap with a free period.
I don't feel so bad now that it seems like everyone has. Gargantuan, I want to say, is the same.
Yeah, I think so. The one that the locals burned.
Oh, really?
It used to be an entire, barge, but, yeah, Gargantua. So the guy who owned the Cabot Head Lighthouse or was working at the Cabot Head Lighthouse at the time got it and sunk it there for his kids to play on. And it was a full barge. So it was their playground. And then I think in the 60s or 70s, well after the guy who originally bought the barge had left, some locals came up and burned it. And now it looks like how it looks.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's, in the winter, there's not necessarily a lot of things to do, so locals burn things. I think that's that mini flower pot there, I think, but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
Or is it farther inland?
It's farther. It's by Lion's Head.
Oh, it's by Lion's Head, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just a really cool rock that sticks out.
Yeah. This is also nice because I flew up in an Archer, so the wings got in the way of a lot of people's sightseeing.
Yeah. Right, that's the road that you go out to Cabot Head.
Yeah.
Local League traffic, Cessna Caravan Golf Charlie Golf Alpha. We are 1,400, just on the north end of Lake Muskoka, northbound for Perry Sound.
actually haven't been out to the Cabot Head Lighthouse, but I'm going to guess that the waterfall's probably here.
Yeah, we'll see the, there's like a sewage, I don't know, like so the road goes over it, so they have like a sewer thing, so like the waterfall goes through it, so like,
Okay.
and it's in like one of these little things of trees. It's right here.
Yeah.
I think so.
Base on Harbor traffic, Bushhawk Kilo, November Sierra, 1,400 feet, coming up over Sandy Island, we're southbound for Bears Head next.
Yeah, right
Yep,
in there.
right there.
Yeah, so they used to, they pile all the logs that they logged on Gillies Lake, and then they'd run them down that course out to Georgian Bay, where they'd then float them down to Wyerton.
Yeah. So if you head straight,
Yeah.
there's that, go to that lake,
Yep.
if you would please.
The lake with the little island in
Yep.
it. Yep.
And then just off to the right will be the lodge, and you could probably do a loop, or, you know, just head
Yeah,
over
we can,
towards
yeah, we can probably do a circle.
Yeah, that'd be great.
This is Dyer's Bay. The shoreline steps back from the cliffs a little bit. Enough room to put houses?
Barely enough.
Yeah. But still, it's enough room.
Yeah.
Dyer's Bay, the Applewood Inn, opposite the dock.
Base on Harbor traffic, Bushhawk Kilo, November Sierra, 1,300 feet, just coming up over Bears Head with traffic in sight.
Okay, so you point me where you
Come on, Stock Harbor now.
want me to go.
Yeah, you can just probably like skirt this side of the lake, and we'll just kind of
Okay.
do a loop. You can probably like standard right turn once you hit the back, and then we'll probably pop out right where the island's at and head on that.
Okay.
'Cause it's probably hard to see over the nose, but there's a dock. I don't know, probably halfway on that far side.
Yeah, okay, that's where the lodge is.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that's exactly it. Like, I can't see anything on that side, really. So sometimes it's like, okay, I need you to help me. Where do you want me positioned? Tell me if you need me to move left or right. Traffic in the Tobermory area, Cessna 172, Golf Charlie Tango Juliet's by Miller Lake. We're 2,200 feet doing some sightseeing.
Level out for just a second.
Okay.
Okay. Now start your turn. Thanks. Just because you were putting the strut right where the lodge was, I was like, damn it.
Yep.
Alright.
Sound Airport traffic, Cessna Caravan, Golf Charlie Golf Alpha over Lake Joe, 5 miles to the south of the field. We'll be coming from the east and overhead for the mid-left down on runway 35 Perry Sound, approximately 2.5 minutes.
So is it a warm little lake, or is it a cold lake?
It's
Last call, Charlie
honestly don't go swimming in it much. Been years since I probably went swimming, but it's like it's temperate because like on this far end it gets pretty shallow.
Yeah.
And then right over here there's a little dock. It gets kind of shallow, nice and sandy there.
Yeah.
So it's warm enough.
Yeah.
But typically we just go fishing there, and then like we'll go to like the other side, or we'll go into Lion's Head. Sometimes go actually swimming, but
Yeah. Energy, another circle.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you though.
You're welcome.
I don't have that nice of a camera, so these pictures aren't going to come out that great anyway.
And it's pretty hard to get nice pictures from an airplane.
Gotta have the window out.
You can if you want to. We are below the never exceed speed, so we can open our windows.
Mine's tight shut.
Oh yes, right, it is.
Golf Charlie Golf Alpha coming up overhead for the mid-left 3.
They did that a couple of weeks ago because the metal's wearing out. So I guess the window was popping open in flight.
Yeah. Which must be pretty common because one of our planes, it just has the glass sheet and you can't open it at all.
Yeah. I think the window might have been an option because one of our airplanes has the same thing, and it's got original paints. So at least they tell me it's original paint. And I can imagine that because I don't know why anybody would want to paint it because it's that pukey, like greeny yellow. Somebody's got a little lighthouse.
Yeah.
And then on the end of this peninsula, there's a really big house really close to the,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Somebody forgot to tell the Niagara Escarpment committee that they were building. Because that's the only way I can figure that they built that close to the cliff.
Yeah.
Perry Sound traffic, Golf Charlie Golf Alpha turn final runway 35 Perry Sound.
Dave posted a picture of that house on Facebook going, oh, some really neat things, including this house, right on the edge of the cliff. He had to take it down because of all the backlash from people going, how are they allowed to build so close? Like, okay.
I mean, it's not a small house either, so they've got some money.
Yeah. I don't know how long the house has been there either, so.
Some brave souls are water skiing out there right now.
Yep. Definitely braver than me.
Yeah.
Oh, if you had a little dry suit on, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. One of the guys we know is a plumber, and the worst thing is when he has to go and fix the offshore wells in Colpoys Bay in like January because they froze. Like, yep, water 1 degree above freezing.
I remember being at the grotto, and because I know it's cold, like it's 50 or something, and I didn't really realize how cold 50 is. So it was like I had to pee, and I didn't realize they already had a bathroom up there, so I jumped in to pee in the lake. Everything was just like, shoop, and I was like,
I don't have to pee anymore.
Yep, don't have to pee anymore. My body temperature is dropping rapidly.
Instant hypothermia.
Sansu 0, drive being Zoo Keel is currently 1300. It's come on the north end of Frying Pan Island. Now we're turning north eastbound for Paris Harbor next.
So did you know that Lions Head used to have an airport?
Yep. Just outside the hospital area there.
Yeah.
Yep. I know a guy who used to fly out of there all the time. He used to fly his plane up and land there, and it was really great. Quite enjoyed it until the father was the one who started it, and he was a pilot and liked the concept of having the ability to, fly in and out. But his son didn't like it as much.
Lame.
Yep. There's some neat rocks and stuff off the shoreline. One side of the Lion's Head Bay, and then the other side over here, which this one's the one that looks like the Lion's Head. Theoretically, if you squint hard enough. Stand on one foot, put your head to the side.
Whitewater traffic, this is Yankee Kilo Alpha at 3,500 feet to south of Vermilion. Did you air work in this area?
What's the thing on the strut for?
It's for I keep calling it a radar, but it's not a radar. It's for the MNR, the Ministry of Natural Resource, when they want to go out and count things like bears or deer or fish or birds or whatever it is they're tracking. They've got a big antenna thing that straps on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
They pick up like radio beacons, the radio collar beacon.
Yeah. That's always been my understanding.
Tobermory traffic, this is Foxtrot, Sierra Papa, President 44 helicopter currently established at the northeast point here of Cove Island, above the Cove Island Lighthouse. We're at 1.1, we're going to be climbing up to 1.7 as we approach the town of Tobermory here. Any conflicting traffic, Foxtrot, Sierra Papa, Tobermory.
There's, Oak Bay, I think it is. Little lake. Just off the lake.
Yeah.
And there's a little channel connecting it.
Yeah, I can see it on the left side, I want to say.
Yeah.
Seems like the guy with the helicopter's doing decent business. He had at least 2 flights yesterday when I was up there for a short time, and
Yeah. Yeah, they've been doing okay. It helps that they've got a downtown presence. We don't, so a little annoying because people will show up and go, "Oh, we didn't even realize you existed. We would have come with you guys."
is that something new? Because I mean, well, when I flew in 10 years ago now. Were you guys doing flights?
No, this is the first year actually for both of us.
Okay.
We went up there because we had at least 2 students who who had been making the drive all the way down to Owen Sound for flight training, and they really wanted to get their licenses done. But the problem is when they can fly is in the winter when the weather isn't good, and in the summer they can't take 4 hours off for driving back and forth plus flight time. So they're like, you should come up and run for the summer, and so it's been pretty decent. But so we started working on this right at the same time. The helicopter guys were like, oh, we're going to bring a helicopter in here to do sightseeing. And it's like, okay, how do we go from absolutely nothing at the airport to helicopters and airplanes?
Yeah.
Base hour driving, so keel is currently 1,300 feet, we're on a 4 mile northeastbound final.
Any desire to get your helicopter's license?
Nope. If I wanted to get my helicopter license, I would have joined the military and got my one in phone search and rescue. That is the only reason I want to fly a helicopter.
There's a girl I went to school with, both of her sisters went to West Point.
Yeah.
And they're both some type of attack helicopter pilots.
Yeah.
I went to her wedding, and I saw her sisters, and I mean, they just look like normal people, and you're like, oh, I know you're an attack helicopter pilot.
Yeah.
And I think both of them had done tours in Afghanistan and other places and stuff.
You want to see the shipwreck or the lighthouse at the end of the peninsula?
I do a lighthouse.
Yes, okay.
So, is this Cape Croker?
Yeah, this is Cape Croker.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the Cape Croker lighthouse. You might see the shipwreck. It's just in the cove there, but probably not. Probably under 3 feet of water, but this year it's under a little bit more.
Not too deep then.
Nope. A couple of the commercial, like the fishing boats are tied up there at the harbor. They got their school.
Isn't this like First Nations stuff?
Yep. Yeah, this is all the reserve. From the cliffs back there, those rounded cliffs, from the base of them, sort of forward, this is all the reserve.
Silvermore traffic, Foxtrot 0, Papa's 944 helicopter.
Larton traffic, Golf Charlie Tango Juliet's by the north end of the peninsula at Cape Croker, 2,200 feet, proceeding towards Owen Sound.
That tower that you see sticking up there, the lighthouse is just at the base of it. And this is the road out to the lighthouse. And depending on which kids you ask on Cape how to get off of Cape, they will send you out to the lighthouse.
Fair enough.
A friend of mine, he told me, he said these guys pulled him over. They're like, okay, listen, we've been trying to get off Cape for like an hour. And they kept asking the same kids, and they kept giving them directions to get back to the lighthouse that took them different routes. And I mean, there's only 2 roads on and off Cape, so I mean, it's not that, and they're loop roads, so I mean, it's not even that hard.
a different type of lighthouse.
Yeah, definitely. I've never seen this type, or I don't know. We've always been up in the Tobermory area, like when we've done like went and sight saw stuff. So this is kind of cool.
Yeah. The round kind instead of the square ones.
Yeah.
And we get to go through the couple of islands.
So when you did the lesson in Ireland, you get like logbook endorsements and stuff that are valid in Canada?
I got the entries. I didn't get them to endorse them.
Gotcha.
But or did he endorse? No, actually, he might have endorsed them, but yeah, he did endorse them. So yeah, they're good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Again, I wasn't sure if I was actually going to take a flight, so I was like, should I take my logbook or not? Because it would just be kind of cool to have a Canadian tail number on there.
Well, if you want, you can put it in there. I don't have a problem with it.
Got a grass strip on that?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's actually grass strips on all 3 islands.
Oh, cool.
This one we could probably land on. It's sort of wide enough and open enough. This is Hay Island. White Cloud has one as well, but it's got trees on the approach on the one end, and the runway's sort of just long enough, but you have to get down through the trees, which are maybe as wide as our wings. So that was determined a no-go, and the other option is one that goes straight down towards the water. So that one you only land on one direction.
Okay.
You always go up the hill, because if you go down the hill, you're going to go swimming.
Yeah, so when I flew up to Lake Erie, that was just over 4th of July. And smallest runway I've landed on recently, so it was kind of like scary, so I kind of slammed the plane down. 2,000 foot, well, it's 1,800 foot, and on the other end, it drops off into the water.
Nice.
So I was like, yeah, I'm going to put this thing down.
Yeah, last thing I want to do is go swimming.
And I had plenty of space, because like it's 900 feet or whatever for a 172, like
Yeah.
not at max and like full flaps, so I was like, I don't know why I was so scared.
But it's still coming up fairly fast. I know I was looking at the end of Tobermory's runway a couple of days ago, because it was anywhere from 90 degrees to headwind to a tailwind. It was flipping that whole range.
Yeah.
So you'd get down and then you wouldn't settle. And so like shoot up half the runway, a third of the runway, or 2/3 of the runway. And it's like, now I'm looking at the end.
I didn't realize the wind was that variable up there. Well, because yesterday when I was just hanging around, somebody took off on a 172 and they departed, I forget what the runways are, but they had departed like south.
So 1 to 2?
Yeah, they went on 1-2. And then a 182 took off like 15 minutes later, and then the wind shock was just kind of like, and so they took off 3-0.
Yeah. Yeah. So Wednesday I was landing and taking off both ways, trying to figure out which one was working better. I never did figure it out. So yeah, there's another lighthouse here on the edge of Griffith Island.
So is that the grass strip out in the middle?
No, the grass strip's down on the end there.
Okay.
I'm not really sure what all these little grass strips are, whether they're golfing spots or whether they're hunting locations or what they are, but this is the private hunt camp.
Oh.
Yeah. Looks like they're doing some work down there at the lighthouse. Got a tractor down there.
Yeah. Is that like a power line or like a lookout tower? Like by the
right there?
Yeah.
That is a hour for chucking clay pigeons.
Sound traffic, Skydive Alpha's going to overfly the field at 3,000.
Fair enough.
They can toss them halfway across the island.
That's a nice little grass strip.
Yeah, it's a very nice grass strip.
Traffic in the Griffith Island area, Golf Charlie Tango Juliet, just along the shoreline here. We're 2,200 feet heading towards Owen Sound. Golf Charlie Tango Juliet.
So it's funny, it's in the Wyerton Bay, but it's on Owen Sound's frequency. For this strip. It's one of the ones you don't land on it without permission. Because they will be right out there telling you to get off before they fine you.
Well, at least they're nice enough to tell you to get off before they find you or shoot you.
Yeah. We've been into it a couple of times because we'll fly like their staff sometimes in and out. Or they take the boat from Big Bay there. That inlet there is Big Bay.
Okay.
And which is the stone skipping capital of the world. Or so the little hand-painted sign at their dock claims.
I've skipped some good stones over at Lion's Head, so I can say I'll give them that.
Yeah.
So is that the bay into Wyerton?
Yeah. So Wyerton's down there at the base. Like the Wyerton Airport.
So I thought it was funny, I got lost and I didn't take the turn left to go down to Owen Sound to like out to the airport or whatever.
Yeah.
So I turned around and when I was heading back north in Owen Sound, it was like Wyerton International straight, and I was like,
wrong airport. That's not the one I want.
I was like, okay, interesting that you have a sign for Wyerton International like 10 miles away.
Yeah. This road here is the shoreline. You can take like the scenic route.
I'm gonna do that on the way back because it's one.
Yeah, Grey Road 1. Yeah.
Whoa, that house is nice.
Yeah. I actually was up with people who, not that house, but the one next door which has the gates. They have friends who are there. Yeah, that guy parks his boat under his house.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to be that rich someday.
You gotta win the Powerball.
I played last time. I was actually in North Carolina, and it was the 800 million or whatever it was, and I was just like, I don't care if it's an idiot tax or not. I'm going to pay the $2 just in case. Like,
yeah. Yeah, I do that every once in a while up here with the Lotto Max when it gets up to 50 million. Yeah. So we've got one row of bluffs here, and one row of bluffs up a little higher, and then one row of bluffs up even higher. It's the only spot in the area where we get this 3-tiered effect, and the top one makes up Kemble Mountain. Yeah.
Traffic, Skydive Alpha is 1 minute prior from 4.5 over the field. Do not reflect this count. 1 minute.
Owen Sound traffic, Golf Charlie Tango Juliet, over the bay. We're just entering at 2,200 feet. We'll be coming to crossover and join mid downwind for 18 Owen Sound.
Yeah, so if you do take the scenic route, you sort of have two options. You can go turn here at Grey Road 1 and come along the shoreline and go up and go along the shoreline and all through there. Or if you follow it round and you go to Kemble and you go straight through Kemble, then you go up that mountain and in and around. Both roads are quite beautiful. This one gets you shoreline, the other one gets you a great view across over to Meaford. But it's sort of good for that one view, and then the rest of it's just sort of country roads.
Gotcha. Turned out to be a decent day.
Yeah. Around here, this is quite often what we deal with. call it Gray County for nothing.
The Gray Bruce.
Yep. That's Gray, that's Bruce.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
They're different counties.
They're actually two different counties. They're quite often lumped together, but yeah, that's Gray, that's Bruce. Georgian Bluffs is part of Gray County, and then after that, it's Bruce County. And Bruce County runs down the other shoreline. If you play golf, Cobble Beach. They've got their own little lighthouse over there by the shore, and apparently a very good golf course. Not that I would know, I don't play golf.
I've done it a handful of times. It's alright. I feel like this is another golf course or
Yeah, that's
housing development.
Yeah, the part of their whole, they were trying to create like a retirement golfing community was what they were going for. So that's why all the houses and then the golf courses around them. Yeah. I think they've only sold like a third of the houses or something. Not even that much.
Ooh.
Yeah. Hasn't gone off as well as they hoped. And then that's Owen Sound right there at the base.
I have the airport in sight.
Good. So you have control? No.
Always fun, like before GPS, well, you don't have GPS, which is like, it's really like a pain in the ass. You're like, so, if you could help me look for the airport, it's somewhere out there. Look for the blinky light.
Yep. We have GPS.
Right there.
Yep, right there. The other one's got it mounted there as well.
Gotta do the obligatory over the hood shot of the airport.
With the prop spinning?
Yeah, you know, because I know they have filters for this, so you can filter it out, but I usually have it like straight out. And I usually have like one of those octopus arm mounts, and I'll actually put it on the strut so I can see how decent my landings are. And I don't know, it's kind of interesting to see because I've had video where you come in and you know you're not on the ground yet, and you just like see it like doing this, and then the front wheel hits, and you see the puff of smoke, and then you're on the ground. It's like it's pretty cool. Like if you got a second when we're back at the airport and you got internet, I can show you some of the videos I've done.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, we've one of the instructors, one of the students was having trouble figuring out whether or not she was straight, and so he talked about it, and then he went and he sat at the end of the runway and took pictures of her coming in to show her what she looked like when she was landing. There's some pretty amazing pictures. But yeah, the interesting thing is because this is a commercial registered aircraft here, you can't do that. You can't take your octopus mount and like do it around the thing. We'd need a special operating certificate and proving stuff that if we crashed, it wasn't going to damage things. And
yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't know, because there's all kinds of YouTube videos. I don't know if you know I don't know, Swain Martin and Bold Method, like those websites. Like he has tons of YouTube videos where they have it like on the wing strut, paint pointed in, and a whole bunch of those guys.
But yeah, like privately, you can do it. There's nothing to say you can't. But as a commercial aircraft, we can.
Interesting.
Owen Sound traffic, Golf Charlie Tango Juliet's coming over 18 for the mid-down wind, landing 18, Golf Charlie Tango Juliet.
So then does Environment Canada hire you guys out to run the radar beacon or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah. They hire us to fly where they want to fly, and it's a special certificates and stuff to work for them. So I've done jobs in Kingston. They don't do a lot of them, but so we're coming back for landing. chair in the upright position, stow your food tray.
Give all my trash to the stewardess.
Yeah. And just over there, you can see a cluster of buildings that are sort of over by themselves. That's the Meaford tank range. We have a military base just over there. Yeah.
Is it like, well...
Did you see that? Yeah, you see sort of what looks like a cluster, like the brown in amongst all the green?
Yep, I saw that. I thought that's what I figured the brown was.
Yeah. That is the Meaford tank range. Yeah.
So Sound traffic Skydive Alpha is 1 minute prior from 8,500 feet over the field, due south of flight touchdown.
Owen Sound traffic, Golf Charlie Tango Juliet, turning base 18, full stop.
And then you can see all the way up, so there's our islands out there. There's, not Lion's Head, but the Wyerton Bluffs, and then you can probably just see Lion's Head just in behind it. I'm getting distracted and actually land the plane.
Yeah.
Sound like a good plan?
Yep. Please do.
So we may get a little bit of rocky just on the end of the approach here. Get almost a little bit like a mountain effect. The wind comes up the runway and then will drop you down on the other side.
Sound traffic Skydive Alpha jumpers way over the field at 8,500 feet, I believe.
Welcome back to Owen Sound.
Thank you for the flight.
You're welcome. Glad we were able to do it.
Yeah, definitely. Just about an hour and a half.
Yep. Yep. Hour and a half airtime. Slightly over, but I'm not going to tell anybody.
I wonder what it's like to fly that.
I don't know, probably pretty cool.